Good morning. Today we got a little project. Teresa's going to tell you what it is.
I am making a barrier against the Bermuda grass around the edges, even though we have the cardboard down with the wood chips on top, which seems to be working very well. The Bermuda grass that's around the edges of a lot of the garden keeps trying to go under and over, and so now I'm making an extra barrier.
And what are you doing with the barrier? What is it?
This is what I call tar paper. It's roofing paper. It goes underneath the shingles when roofers replace or put on a new roof. And I had some sitting around, and so I cut the strips in thirds, a third of a roll, and now I'm laying it down, tucking it under the cardboard on the inside. Eventually the grass will kind of half grow over top of it, and some dirt will sit on top of it, so it'll stay down. But right now I'm just putting pieces of scrap wood to hold down the other edge. Little piece here, little piece there, until it gets the idea. Bermuda grass is right here. It's a kind of grass that was planted for cows to eat. It originated in Africa. And I'm sure it's great for the cows and the horses, but it's not so great for the vegetables.
No, they invade. They take over everything. So the rolls of roofing paper are usually like 36 inches wide. So what Teresa did was she cut them into like 12-inch strips. And so here's a few that she's cut and prepped. They're roofing paper. It's not too thick, not too thin, but it comes on a 36-inch roll, which is a little bit heavy. You can get it at your big box stores, relatively cheap. You can use roofing shingles too if you got a bundle of roofing shingles that's just extra sitting around. So this is what it looks like. It's also a good termite barrier if you're doing other projects with wood. You need a termite barrier. The good thing with the roofing paper or shingles is it lays pretty flat, so you can kind of mow right over it once it gets, once it lays down, and then you don't really have trouble mowing over it. Now, you had the weed whack up here. You got this light fence. We weed whack that fence, it's going to tear it all up. So it's really a good idea if you have the time. Put it down. She's putting it down with some boards on it, but you have a clip? Show a clip.
These are just pieces of wire hanger. I cut them to about 6 to 8 inches, and I had them sitting around. We're all about using what we have, and we don't have the most beautiful garden, but it's productive.
I don't know. I like my string beans. They were beautiful this year. I ate string beans.
Yes.
And I got them frozen now in the freezer in bags. So pretty happy about that. And they're still going. And I'm waiting for the broccoli and the cauliflower in those beds. That's our fall crop. Carrots are on the next bed over, but we've already planted the carrots a couple times. It was too hot, too dry, whatever. It's just hard for us to get the soil right here for it. It's all clay, so we're trying to build the soil, and it's a real challenge for us. Anyhow, so Teresa's doing this little project today. Now the compost bins are way down, and we're letting the grass back there grow tall again. We do it in the spring, we do it now. And I have 4 of these. You see that it's divided into 4 sections. Each of these has to be filled up to here, and then it'll go halfway down, it'll sink. So this is the one we're filling now. That one she's using, which will go in the new bed, and I'll show you that real fast. This is just some of the grass we cut, and we just keep using it. So this is the potato patch we showed you. Yesterday we didn't show it, but we came in and we planted ryegrass and then lightly covered with some soil, just lightly raked it in, and then we watered it, and we'll probably water it every day till it comes up. So that's coming along good. And then yesterday I had a little energy. It was cool in the morning, so I took the broad fork. Oh, she's already got it, the next section getting ready for me. So I took the broad fork through here, and then I tilled it to break up the chunks that were on the top. And she put some of this, what is it called, green sand? I think it's called green sand in there, and we'll spread that out because that helps break up the clay. And then she puts in these 4x4 posts. There's a couple more. I got some more scrap lumber, so we'll frame that out. I cut it all for her. She comes along with her little trowel, and she just sits there on the ground and digs it in, you know. And then the next bed will go here, okay? And I don't know if I showed you this, but we need more wood chips. We've gone through 24 cubic yards of wood chips already this year. So over here we have our 4x4s that are going to be the posts for the deer fence, and we're just protecting the bottoms of them. So you can see how I set that up on the soil hearses for. I put one all the way across, and then I set these up, and she comes along with a paint can and she paints them all up for me. And then we'll set that post, and then I'll set this corner post, and I'll string a line, and then I'll measure ever many feet I want, 8 or 10 feet apart. I'll put the square posts in the corners, and I'll use the landscaping timbers in the middle. And then we'll come up this way, probably to that corner there, and we'll get 2 rows of trees, one here and one here, and we'll space those 10 feet apart. So you'll have a row, maybe 6 trees 10 feet apart, and a second row. Okay, maybe we'll do a little more, but I'm trying to save this area here. You see where the shade isn't, in case I want to put ground mount solar panels. So anyhow, I'm not sure exactly of the dimensions of this. It'll probably come out to here for sure. Now whether I decide to go all the way over there and protect the potatoes from the deer, I'm not quite sure yet. We're gonna have sweet potatoes, red skin potatoes, and white potatoes. You know, oven roaster baker potatoes. So baking, they all probably can't go in that one bed. So we're probably gonna need a whole nother bed of potatoes, maybe on the other side, and I'll remove this tree. So it's kind of tough. So the fence might, if I have enough material, go all the way there, then come here, and then come this way. And then the gate would be here to come in to the orchard. So, or the gate could be here. Either way, I'm not sure yet the exact layout, but that's coming up. Weather has to be cool for me to do that kind of work. This will be the next bed. I'll broad fork it, and then I'll till it, and then we'll frame it with the lumber. We have enough lumber still. And then we'll get more cardboard and keep the chips going, the wood chips. This one, I'm not sure if we're going to do a fall planting here, so I might just put some ground cover in. I've got like a pound or 2 of seeds left. All right, so that's it for today. Today we're just doing a little bit of edge working here, trying to keep that Bermuda grass. It's very invasive. Try and keep it out of the garden. I know a lot of people have trouble with the Bermuda grass. When we rototill it, and if it's in here as I'm tilling it and raking it, Teresa's down on her hands and knees, and the best thing is just take it and pull it by hand, get it out, follow the roots. Under here there's cardboard and then all these chips, and you see a little piece. Let me see if I see any. She's pretty good at it, but if you see it coming up, you got to get down there, move the chips aside, and follow it and pull it completely. I don't see any right now. No. No, she's keeping it pretty good, so you need to keep that out, or it'll take over fast for you. So anyhow, that's it for today for our project. I'm going to go back to work on the mini split this afternoon. So until next time, this is Charlie and Teresa, and it's our first year gardening.